Hey, Warren, what's going on, bro?
What's
Didn't
going
go
on,
how we
bro?
expected, man.
It did not, bro. It
I
did not.
predicted a blowout or something of domination, and it wasn't even close.
It wasn't close, but it was a good game. But let's go ahead and get talking about it, bro. What's going on, everybody? This is Warren, and
And
then I
this
got
is
my co-host Jay.
what's going on. This is Jay.
Eagles Collective. We got to talk about this game, Jay. We got to talk about it. So,
Can't believe
before
we in
we
this
tap,
situation.
yeah, man, we got a lot to talk about, a lot to talk about. But before we get into that, we just want to let everybody know that hey, we only have 96% of you guys subscribe to us. I know me and Jay do a few shorts as well. We get some subscriptions from that. But hey, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to put a subscription on there. Go ahead and like and subscribe to us. We would greatly appreciate it. But yeah, Jay, moving forward, just leaving out of week 2 for a Sunday football game, we had a few losses, a few surprising losses. So we got the
Oh yeah.
49ers. Yeah, 49ers losing to the Vikings 14-23. And then we got the Saints beating up on the Cowboys 44 to
That was
19.
fun to watch. That was fun to watch.
It was very fun to watch. It was. I liked it. But at the same time, we're getting hyped. We're excited about it. We can't wait for our team to play.
Hmm.
And yeah. Yeah. So everybody knows that we went into Monday Night Football celebrating Nick Foles retiring as an Eagle. We all know how special he is to the Eagle fan base and to the Eagles community, bringing in the Super Bowl ring.
Hmm.
Um, Jay, just tap a little bit into kind of how you felt about Nick Foles going into just retiring as an Eagle and finishing up with us.
Oh yeah, perfect time. And I always say, he had one purpose from God, man, when it came to football, and it was to give the Eagles a Super Bowl ring because he's never had any success anywhere else, and that's no knock on him. But Nick Foles is definitely a savior in Philly. He will always be glorified in Philly. I mean, he has a statue. I always tell people he'll never have to pay for nothing in Philly. He could walk around freely. His family will be okay just because of what he brought to that city and in the drought, 61 years with no ring. So I just believe I just believe that it was perfect for the night. We didn't get the win, so it ruined almost his whole celebration. Jason Kelsey there, it ruined everything. Not getting the W. That was the icing on the cake that we needed.
Yeah, I look at it as just his whole just football career was just perfect timing with us.
Yeah, it's
Starting
perfect
off with
timing.
us,
Yeah,
yeah, starting off with us, leaving, getting traded by Chip Kelly, and then coming back to us when we get Doug Peterson.
yeah, yeah.
Carson Wentz is going on a winning streak. Best best career ever. Was with the Eagles that Super Bowl year.
Yeah, his best
And
year.
yeah, and then all of a sudden get injured. Nick Foles, we kind of doubting a little bit going into the playoffs, and Nick Foles just carries it all. So hey, we greatly appreciate him. But
Definitely
yeah,
Nick Foles.
yeah. So I just got a few pictures here. So everybody was there Monday night. So you got Fletcher Cox pulling up to the event. You got Jason Kelsey. Of course, we know he was reporting for Monday Night Football, and you got him just signing his last contract with the Eagles. I think that was pretty cool.
Next to the
Signing his
trophy
last
is amazing.
exactly, bro. Like
Wow, bro, it's a
that's
beautiful
cool.
photo, man.
Yeah, so it was gonna be an all day event. Like I think it was pretty exciting. Like for example, you got Jason Kelsey just tearing it up. Like you got him out there, and
Yeah,
then
he
you
was going
got
crazy.
he
A
was, and
lot
you
of
even got the
he was
you even
out. He
got
was
the
out
owner.
there in the trenches yesterday. He was really. Yeah, I mean, what team? The owner's outside tailgating. He knows that the Philly Eagles fans, he knows how we get down, and plus, he knows the culture so deep, and he's the owner. He wants to be a part of it. He just don't want to sit up in the press box.
Yeah, he definitely wants to have fun. Let's look at these comments real quick. Hey guys, let's get down to business. Hey,
What's going on, Richie?
preach. The opposition clown and Barkley.
Yeah, they
Hey,
clowning for now. I mean, listen, bro. I live New York, New Jersey area, and trust me, they still sour grapes, and today, they're clowning him today, but he made that mistake. He made that drop. Could have run. It's a lot of things could have been. I keep saying they could have won the game about six different ways and still lost. So
Yeah,
it's their fault.
yeah. And last comment he put up.
Oh, definitely no.
But yeah, just tapping in before we even get the game portion of it started, we find out AJ Brown's going to be out.
Yeah,
Has a hamstring injury. Word was it's 2 weeks. Then Nick Sirianni came in and debunked that and said not all of that is true. So we're not 100% sure yet whether he's going to start. But also, we got news that Jalen Carter did not even start just due to him not showing up to one of the team events they had. And Vic Fangio, he's old school. Hey, if you can't make it, you're not going to start. So just with those thoughts,
I
what do you
agree. I
think about
agree
that,
with
Trey?
that. I agree with the Jalen Carter punishment because at the end of the day, you guys are getting paid a lot of money handsomely. You have a job to do. There's no way. There's no excuse for you to be late. Everybody's on time. We can't have one guy late. Everybody has to be on the same page.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's just setting the standard. That's all it is, setting the standard. Um, hey, with that going, let's go ahead and just tap in a little bit. Well, Jay, would you like to talk about the offense or defense first?
Um, I mean, I have frustration on both sides, but I'll go with the defense first. For sure, the defense,
Okay.
and I put more blame on the defense than the offense on the game because the offense, they put up some points. Not all,
Mm-hmm.
the opportunities they left the three on the board, which I posted up on Facebook right when it happened. Like you were gonna
Mm-hmm.
regret those three, and we regretted those three because it's early in the game. There's no need to go for it on 4th and 4. Take the three, get on the board, start putting some pressure on them to score. But to just go in there 4th and 4, I did not like that play call from the moment it happened, and I just kept saying if it goes wrong, it's going to look worse because those points are going to be needed at the end of the game, and they were definitely needed. So I did not agree with that. But the defense, like, let's get back to the defense. The defense, um, poorly. I just feel like they played poor yesterday. They made key plays, key stops on certain moments. They had a couple of little highlight plays, but I don't know if he's watching right now, but Vincent spoke about this, about the too high safety look with Vic Fangio and the spacing and keeping everything in front of you. And this is my theory on this. Like, how long can this last? Because it's only been 2 weeks. I do not like how the Eagles are playing defense with all the spacing, no pressing. Everybody's getting a free release off the line. I was upset because Kirk Cousins is going to sit back there and pick apart the zone. He's a veteran quarterback. Every people are sitting in a pocket in the zone and getting a catch, getting a couple yards after that. I could not take the defensive formations they were throwing out there. And then it's towards the end of the game. You're trying to play this prevent, this too high look, like, and it's like the ball they're still finding the pocket. So me personally, I was very disappointed with the defensive scheme yesterday. I just think that they
Mm-hmm.
couldn't stop anybody, and the same thing like Green Bay, they could not get a stop. Like the defense looks worse than it did last year. Honestly, just going through 2 weeks.
Yeah, and my biggest thing is just stopping the run. That's
Yeah,
the that's the biggest concern I got.
disrespect.
Um, look at Reed Blankenship leading in tackles. Then you got Zach Bond, Nakobe Dean, CJ, Darius Slay, Josh Sweat. Then you look under the bottom, you got Jalen Carter and I don't even Jordan Davis with 2 tackles, Milton Williams, 2 tackles, 1 sack.
Yeah, Maddox had
Like
two key a key pass defender too, and he was injured. And people could say what they want to say about Maddox, but when that dude's on the field, he's running at 110%. That's why he probably gets injured. But he's giving it 100, and he's a missile out there too, man. He's not as sharp as he was when he was a little younger, but the injuries may have caught up to him. But he's still making key plays, and he seems to be around where the ball is at.
answer this for me. I looked at the injury report and I did not see Isaiah Rogers on there. I actually saw Isaiah Rogers suited up.
Yeah,
So
that
he
that
did not get on the
situation.
field.
Yeah, that situation with Isaiah Rogers is almost like the Devin White situation. Like we had these expectations of him. We thought he was gonna start. We were expecting to see him play a high volume number of snaps, and he's virtually playing zero. So it's like I don't know what's going on there. I kind of don't like what's going on there. So I feel like something with the Eagles defense is not clicking. I
Hmm.
thought CJ Gardner-Johnson was gonna come in and be the enforcer, but even though he had that great play of fourth down, I mean he's got burned and put in a blender quite a handful of times this year already. First
Yeah,
by
no,
Reed, and then
that
yesterday
play
by
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 CJ.
Mooney. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on with the defense, but it's hard to tell who's the leader here. And then I like Blankenship running around, man. Blankenship looked like he's running around trying to do what he can do.
Yeah, let's look at the comments real quick. Richard, AJ Brown's absence definitely was a factor last night. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure, bro.
out the middle of the
He's
field
our
was open.
bully. Without AJ, AJ is our bully. Covey is not AJ. I kept saying that to people today. Like, if you have to guard Britton Covey and then you got to guard AJ, it's two different people. It's night and day.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been 4-2-5 all night. I agree with you, Curtis. And
Yeah, I like that. I like that
I'm a
formation
tap
too.
into that too. I'm gonna tap into that. So, Jay, that 2022 year that we had, back
Yeah,
when we had Hargrave,
yeah.
do you remember the defensive lineup?
It was Hargrave, Fletcher, um, Hargrave, Fletcher, Brandon Graham, and missing one person. We had a rotation though. We had you talking about the Super Bowl year?
We yeah. So
Oh,
we
we
had
had Tim Jernigan.
mm-hmm.
You talking
So
about
we had
2022. I'm sorry. You talking about
yeah. I'm talking about
2022.
2022.
Millen Williams was still on the team in 2022,
Lil
wasn't he?
Williams was
Yeah,
still
he
in
was on the
there.
team. Yeah.
Yeah,
Who
but
else is on the
remember
defense?
that was Jordan Davis's first year.
Rookie
So
season.
remember, we had Jordan Davis as the in the nose, and we had Fletcher Cox, and we had Fletcher Cox, and we had Javon Hargrave, and then we had Josh Sweat, and we had Hassan Reddick. Remember, uh, BG was still in rotation,
Yeah,
so he
BG was
wasn't
on. He
yet.
was on a
Yeah,
secondary.
he
Yeah,
was still in rotation.
he was on a
So they had a
secondary.
5-man front. So they
Hmm.
had a 5-man front. These last two games that we've been watching them, they have not been pulling out any 5-man fronts.
No, they're just sticking with the four and no blitz, no pressure whatsoever, like none. Do you know what it is to have no pressure at all?
Yeah,
It's not good.
Fangio's old school way, no blitz. Yeah, but nowadays somebody like Kirk Cousins, you got to blitz him.
Yeah.
Offense needs to attack the middle. Yes.
That's the part of
Yes.
Jalen's game where he struggles a little bit, the middle of the field, getting it over because that's where everything's crossing. That's where you could throw a pick. So I do feel like they need to attack the middle more. And that's something that comes along with his growth in his career.
Yeah. Then Nicky right. All right. Must clean up ASAP. Saints are currently on the hot streak.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
CJ on that. Hey, that's true. And then Sweat. Yeah. So I'm I'm kind of disappointed in the defensive line right now. I definitely get that they have to gel. They're trying to mesh with what they have going on. This is kind of still their preseason. This is only week two. This is only week two. So I'm pretty sure like they understand what they're doing wrong. They understand what they need to get right. They had BG. They're interviewing him this morning, and he says we're not rushing together. And when you sit back and you watch that game, they're really not rushing together. It's like they're not in sync. It's kind of like every man on their own when they're rushing if they need
yeah,
to rush. So that communication, that chemistry isn't there yet. Hopefully that chemistry does get there because somebody like Bryce Huff, he's making Hassan Reddick look real good right now. So it's almost like should we have paid him? But if we would have paid him, would he have been a locker room problem?
yeah. That's the
So
truth. But
it's like,
and I don't want to. Hassan Reddick is a type of player, like he does change game. He can close that out. I used to call him our closer because he would get a sack towards the end of the game or a very opportunistic sack. But we do miss him. We're not even gonna sit and act like we don't. The pass rush is non-existent, like not even okay. It needs improvement. It's just non-existent. It's not there. Huff has one assisted tackle through 2 games. It's been a big disappointment through 2 games. Once again, it's only 2 games, but
yeah,
it's a sample size enough to say, okay, It's not week 1. This is week 2. We're heading into week 3. What direction? What's the identity of this team? I hope they find out sooner than later.
Yeah, I think they will. They have veteran experience and they got a dog on the team too
Yeah.
with CJ. Like I'm just going that play, Jay. That play was
Johnson,
ridiculous.
who's going to make the play? And he just stones B.J. Robinson.
Bro,
And
I ain't gonna
then
hold you. I thought the game was over after that. I was like, yo, that's the type of play that stuns a team. Like we had him
yeah,
and he just stonewalled them. But after that, man, I don't understand how you execute running 7 minutes off the clock versus the Packers in Brazil. You get the ball back with 5 minutes here, have ton of momentum going, and you can't just close out the deal. I was in the same situation I was with Jordan Love last week. I didn't want to see Kirk Cousins get back on the field because he's torching the defense. Like, even though he doesn't have 400 yards, almost 300, he's torching the defense. I don't
yeah,
want him on the field. When he got back on the field and he hit that first completion, I said, it's a wrap. He's going to keep going, and then he hit the second one. Next thing you know, they're at the 10. Next thing you know, they're running it out real quick to Slay, and Slay was cluing in on Kirk Cousins, just like the Collinsworth said it. When you're cluing in, you're looking straight at the quarterback. You have a peripheral of what's going on, but the whole time Drake London's running an easy out route that he could have easily contested or at least made a little bit more difficult to hit. Because the Eagles had a
exactly.
couple stops up. They stopped them twice. I was third down when they hit that.
hmm With what changes do you feel like need to be made on the defensive side?
Bro, I don't want to sound very negative or unoptimistic, but I don't know how long this defensive scheme will last in Philly. So the adjustment I would say would just be get rid of Fangio in general, honestly, because there's no way that you have this type of talent on the defensive line, young talent, and they cannot generate. There's something going on. It's not the talent. It's definitely the coaching. It's definitely the opportunities. For me to improve, I feel like Fangio would have to bend a little bit and adjust to modern day NFL. Where is the blitzing? You cannot win in the NFL without pressure or blitzes. Like, I don't know
Yeah,
where in his mind he's thinking, like, that's why I was a little skeptical of his hire too, because Vic Fangio has been coaching for over 20 years, but nobody's knocking down doors to get him as their coach. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like,
hmm
he asked the team to let him go to become our coach because he wants to live close to his family, which is good because he won't jump for a head coaching job. He's certified and he's going to stay in Philly. But how good is he as a defensive coordinator? I understand you want to keep everything in front of you, but we're going to give up tons of yards all year. Their red zone defense was playing well up until that last drive. But
yeah.
their red zone defense to me has been playing well. But
I agree with you on
you're
that.
letting teams get in the red zone because it is too high safety look, because it is conservative look. You're letting everything play in front of you, and you're trying to keep everything in front of you. And I don't know how long it's going to last.
Yeah, that's a bold statement with
Yeah, I just
Fangio.
don't know how long it's going to last because
I think that'll kind of set a bad precedent because that's what happened last year. You get rid of the defensive coordinator in the middle of the season.
yeah, I don't
Um,
even think he would get to the middle. I think if things are not going right, because yo, bro, listen, they're not getting stops.
because it's Nick's job on the line too.
Yeah, they're not getting stops, and I'll tell you this: when we were playing the Packers, I told myself, bro, Jordan Love can't get back on his field, like, because the
Mhm.
Eagles defense cannot stop him. They're gassed right now, and they're gassed, and they couldn't stop him when they were ready, when they were fresh.
Do you feel like maybe, like I was telling you about that 5-man front? Do you feel like if they put Milton Williams out there or Jomo out there and put them as a second DT and then slide Jordan Davis over as the nose, do you feel like this defensive line can be more effective?
I don't know. I would like to see packages of that, different sub packages where you move defensive no sackle here, or you might play a outside linebacker on the inside and try to get him a mismatch on a guard. I want to see something like that. Jim Schwartz used to do that. I mean, that's how
Well,
the
look at a
Eagles.
lot of these defenses.
Yeah,
Look at a lot, like look at the 49ers defense. That's how they had their defense lined up.
yeah.
That's how the Saints had their defense lined up.
They start switching people. Cam Jordan goes from the inside, outside, starts flopping. You have to be versatile. You put a guy
Yeah.
on his spot, they're gonna just keep playing him on the same spot. You got to switch it up. That's how Brandon Graham got the sack on Tom Brady. They had moved him to the interior, and he just got through the guard, or I think with Shaq Mason, and he sacked him. But I want you to go to Curtis's comment right there, real quick.
Yeah.
If
So
you could highlight that.
we'll go to that real quick. All right. Too late to let him go. He
Yeah,
needs to adjust at this time. Needs to load the box and let our
and let our
DBs play
DBs
their game.
play. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I agree with that. You see, because it probably is too late to let him go, because now he's already in here. He's established himself as the coach. So
He
let's
has,
see.
and he's
Let's see what
gelled
he will
with the
do.
team.
But
Yeah, he's gelled with the team.
But what I need him to do is adjust. You know, understand? Like he says, adjust this time. Let's load the box. Let the DBs play. It's 2024, man. There's a lot of film. There's a lot of things. You don't think people know Fangio's style and what Fangio is going to bring to the table? And then they know that it's not nothing exotic. They know it's all traditional. It's regular football. He has to get a little different, a little foreign, a little exotic on his packages and play calling. Like he has to.
They need to trade for an edge rusher. Y'all agree? Yeah, trade for
Bruh,
an edge rusher, but
that's the need right
who's
now
gonna
for sure.
who's gonna give us an edge rusher at the moment?
That's
Edge
premium.
rushers are most like
Edge
edge
rushers like paying a
rushers are a
wide
high
receiver.
commodity right
Yeah,
now.
that's like paying a receiver. Like Dave demand
Yeah.
top dollar. That's probably the highest paid player. It is the highest paid player on the defensive end. Is a pass rusher. He's gonna get paid higher than a corner, higher than a safety, higher than a linebacker. The pass rusher is gonna get it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it would take to get one at this point in the season, or who would be available, but
The
it's
only
scary
edge
right
rusher
now.
that we could get is Hassan Reddick, but I truly think there's some bad blood with Hassan Reddick. And that's why we haven't tried to tap into that yet. Um, just think about it. What if we do bring him back? What if you do bring Hassan Reddick back? He already owes the Jets in the NFL in
Yeah.
fines already.
Oh yeah.
Like
Right. Of course.
he already owes them. So he might be able to come in with a lower contract because some of that contract will pay his fees. So
I don't.
I can
I
see
could.
that.
I'm still perplexed at how he even left Philly to begin with, requested a trade out of his home city, being from
Nobody's
Kansas.
saying how much. Yeah,
And
nobody knows how much he's asking.
yeah, but I mean, he wants to be paid essentially in the top pass rusher, somewhere probably in the $25 million range,
Like
and
Nick Bosa.
like Nick Bosa maybe or something. And I guess the Jets and the Eagles see him as in, dude, you got two contracts already. I know you're trying to cash out a third, but this is what it is, and
His
he's
age.
not
Yeah.
taking it. He has outplayed his contract though. Hassan Reddick did
Mm-hmm.
outplay his contract with Philadelphia. Excuse me, that I will admit. He outplayed his contract.
Let's
definitely
go
played.
into the offense real quick, Jay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. So this was the offense. I'll be right back. But yeah, Jay, just give me your thoughts on looking at these stats. It looks like a solid game from Jalen. Jalen isn't going to get that many yards, but rushing yards, you got rushing yard has 85, Saquon 95. Like it's not a bad game.
I'll be honest with you. Jalen, towards the end of the game, I started feeling like, okay, penalties is not going our way. Things are not going our way. But I saw Jalen, in my opinion, start taking the game over. I saw him start saying, just taking it on. The QB runs, the design runs, all of that to me was good. Hold on, let me pin this comment for you right here. I can't pin it from here, but Warren could pin it when he sees it. Go get Yana or whatever his name is from the Bears. I mean, that there's gonna be shout out to Curtis for participating. That there's gonna be a pass rusher available. Somebody's gonna be disgruntled, request a trade. So we kind of gotta let the season unfold a little bit, and see who is gonna land on a trade block, who wants to be there, who doesn't want to be where they're at. So that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
But
I agree with you.
yeah, but back to the offense. Brayton Covey, AJ was missed. Brayton Covey, shout to Brayton Covey because he did what he could do. I feel like he had more opportunity if he would have just took a couple better angles. I feel like towards the end of the game, his last couple of receptions, he was trying to move up the field. I feel like he was just spinning either wrong or, he was just the short reception. You can't obviously go too, you can't do too crazy unless you have a lot of space. But I feel like he could have got a little bit more yards after the catch on the first couple of receptions that he had.
I agree with you. Bryn Covey did. I think he had a solid game because like his whole goal has been to kind of like show what he can do,
Yeah,
and
be part of
he
the
was
game.
given that
He needs
opportunity.
space. He needs space. I feel like you get Brandon Covey in a little bit of space, he's gonna make a move. But he's not a physically big or taller guy. So, like I said, his presence on the field was not Brown's presence, and it's much easier for the defense to prepare for Brandon Covey than it is for AJ Brown. That's 100% a fact.
Yeah, I think he did a good job. Looking at it, 23 yards. He got targeted 6 times.
Yeah, and he caught
Um,
all six. Look, what's his name? Johnny Wilson got that one target in the end zone.
yeah.
Man, that's who I want to. That's who I feel like the Eagles got to get going. They got to figure out
Answer
a way
this
to
for
get
me.
Johnny Wilson going in the red zone, man, because he was not on the. Hurts was trying to improvise him to go to the left, but Johnny Wilson was like a half a second late. Because had he listened to Hurts right when Hurts started pointing to the corner, it may have been a little bit different. But the throw was almost picked off. So they need to run a little bit more red zone plays, I think, for Johnny Wilson.
Do you feel like Dallas Goedert should have gotten a few more targets this
For
game?
sure. I feel like the targets that Covey was demanding, you should have given them to Dallas because Dallas is a more physical player, and he's definitely, he's the defense sees him
Yards
there.
after catch, yeah.
He gets a lot of yards after the catch, and he's good on the screens. I mean, I missed 2022 when we were hitting Goddard on them screens, man. He was just rolling and rolling because he's good on the screens. And I see Curtis over here said we need to run some screens with Barkley. We need to run some screens in general. Like
Yeah.
screens, throw the defense and keep them on their toes. We need to throw some screens. But the offense overall, Warren, Jalen looks a little bit more amped up this season. Like I saw him on the sideline jumping up a little bit more, moving a little bit more. And as I refer back, I feel like he started taking over the game towards the end when he started all those design runs and made a couple good
Mm-hmm.
throws. And I just feel like sometimes he's gonna make the boneheaded decision, like the pick. The pick was a
He's
boneheaded
going
decision.
to.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's
Patrick
okay.
Mahomes makes interceptions.
Look,
Like,
listen, people are gonna understand, Warren. If you want your quarterback to put up numbers, he's gonna have to make these type of throws. This is gonna happen. He's gonna throw picks. He's gonna get in these type of situations. It's gonna happen. Jalen's
yeah.
playing a little bit more aggressive as his career is ascending.
Let's look at the comments. So, Curtis, this is the one you were talking about, right?
Yeah, he was talking about get the
With the
pass
Bears.
rusher. Yeah,
Hey, call the Panthers for clowning. That's not a bad idea.
yeah, maybe because Panthers is looking like they jumping ship and ready for another first round pick.
Nikki Lloyd, what do you gentlemen think about next game? We are going to tap into that,
Nervous.
Nikki. Yeah, we are going to tap into that. And then Richard, hey, good point, Curtis. He's a FA. Okay.
Free agent. One of them's a free agent. I don't know which one
And
is
then he
referring
needs
to.
to run screens with Barkley. Yeah, they do not need to run screens with Barkley. I think Barkley's solid, and with those screens will help him. But I just feel like Barkley's just so athletic to where he kind of just gets out of that.
Funny how they're giving Barkley so many carries. They wouldn't give Swift that many carries. It's almost like they didn't believe in Swift when he was there, or they didn't want him to I don't know. It's weird. Barkley getting 20. We couldn't even get Miles Sanders to get 10, 15 carries a game.
Yeah.
Barkley's getting like 20. It's crazy how the Eagles
Covey
work.
falls over as soon as someone lays a hand on
Yeah,
him.
you see, I'm telling you, I was watching him yesterday, and I know he's a slighter player, smaller player, but he got to work on his awareness because that's one thing that AJ and Devontae got. They have awareness. They catch the ball. They know what's around and they know which way to move right as soon as they get the ball.
But with Covey, it's baby steps with me with Covey.
Yeah, I
Just
like
because
Covey.
there was no trust in him last year. He threw the ball to him 6 times and he caught it all 6 passes.
Dude, do you see how he was
that
smiling
instills
yesterday?
trust.
Did you see how
that
he was
instills
smiling yesterday?
trust.
You saw how he was smiling? That right there is confidence for that boy right there. And I'll be honest with you, I like Covey. That's why Covey's, Covey's. I have nothing against Covey. I just feel like this game, he gained a lot. He, as a player, gained a lot from this game. Knowledge, everything, because he actually put in some work.
Yeah, Curtis has a point here. They're respecting their safety, which I understand, but Kellen needs to. He does need to trust the players. And I think that's a little bit of Jalen, too, because Dotson only got that one pass, but then when you count that pass, that looked like one of those plays that kind of Dak does to CD, and he really didn't really get any yards off of
Yeah,
that.
those end arounds, those little end arounds.
Yeah, he really didn't get anything off of it. I want Hurts under center more. Hey, we might see a little bit of that. But Jay, this is how I feel about this team. We ended off on a bad note last year. Ended
Yeah.
off on a terrible note. All I want to see is just progress each game. Like, I want to see progress each game. Like, everybody in the comments, let me know. Do you feel like Jalen Hurts progressed from the Brazil game, or do you feel like he got worse from the Brazil game? I feel like he progressed. His passing yards are not the same, but
Yeah,
you saw how he
if
took
you
control of the situation.
take away the numbers, Warren, like if you take away the numbers, not literally, I'm just saying, if you take away the
Yeah,
numbers, the eye test, I feel like he played well last night. I feel like he was trying to do what he could do, getting the throws in first, the home opener, first game back at home. But if anybody, I feel like this as Eagle fans, there's plenty of other quarterbacks that are not as good as Jalen Hurts.
oh
I
yeah,
mean,
most
there's
definitely.
not even that many more quarterbacks that I would take over Jalen on this team. Obviously, like you got Patrick, you got Lamar, you got other guys out there that are good, that are very good. But Jalen's one of the top QBs, hands down. I don't care what anybody says. His throws, his toughness, his demeanor. Towards the end of the game, towards the end of the game, just look how he
Hmm.
had the whole Atlanta defense on skates. One man was having all 11 defenders on skates. Everybody trying to chase him. You understand?
He's
He,
more in control too. That's
yeah,
the thing. You
I'm
watching
looking at
him,
his
he's
whole
calling the
body
plays.
language.
Yeah, the communication he's having with everybody,
Dude, he's
like the
bouncing around.
motion,
He's on the
all of that.
sideline.
Like, everybody is bashing the team for how they performed yesterday. Like, when you look at it, we lost by 1 point with no AJ Brown.
And we lost self-inflicted because if you run the ball down and you give them at least a little less time to do the damn miracle they had, or
Yeah,
if you just run the ball on that 3rd and 3, even if you don't get the first down, which I don't understand with this offensive line and Saquon Barkley, you need 3 yards and you're gonna go for an out route to Saquon, where you could just pound it up the middle. Like I don't, it's 3 yards. The benefits of running the ball should have outweighed the benefits of throwing the ball. The
yeah.
cons of throwing the ball is if he drops it or anything, the clock stops. I know they thought about that. They know this already. So why not just run it? The worst thing that could happen is it's 4th down. We take 40 seconds more off the clock, and that's it. So
Yeah.
that was that right there. This loss is self-inflicted. We would be having a whole different tune. We would be 2-0. We'll be celebrating. We'll be happy.
Our
But
tune would be different. Yeah.
like I told my son this morning when I woke up from school this morning, I told him I'm happy they lost because you know what? Last season, 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, and everybody was glorifying this team that has so many flaws. And then when we got the loss, we collapsed. Let's get everything out now. Week 2, week 3, whatever. Let's get it all
Hmm.
out. Fix everything up because this is a long season. It just started.
Yeah. Like, this was certain plays that Jalen made that made me think, okay, we got a different Jalen right now. I'm gonna play those real quick for you.
Yeah, Jalen made
And
some throws, man.
yeah, so let's see. Like, that's 2022 Jalen. That's
Like
not
standing like that,
2023.
yes, that's definitely 2022 Jalen standing right there with everybody, just looking for something right there.
Fighting. He's not just going down,
Let me
he's
tell you
fighting.
something. People don't give him credit for his throwing on the run and him rolling out the pocket because he had a couple outside. I like to get him rolling. Last year we did not get him outside the pocket. There was no rollouts. At least one thing is the offensive play calling has been a little bit
Mhm.
better than last season. My issue so far, my overall issue with the Eagles so far is situational play calling has been absolutely terrible to say the least. Situational play calling, like situations, is bad.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go back to Curtis. Without Jalen, we would have lost the game.
Oh, that's a
We'll be
fact.
okay. I agree, 100%. Nicky
100%.
Lloyd, Jalen did great last night. I agree. Let's see. They weren't going to throw to Barkley on the last play. They had a hard count. Yeah, we saw that. Yeah, we saw that video,
That's all
and
facts right there.
it
So that's
was
all
it was up
facts.
to the yeah, it was up to the lineman to flinch. That's how we would have gotten that first down and milked the clock. So I remember seeing that video. Um, let's go to Richard with Barkley averaging 9 yards a game. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we got to look at this as on a positive note. Um, now we will. talk a
Yeah,
little
look at what
bit.
Richard. I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm
No,
glad
you
Richard
good.
said that. You averaging 9 yards a game, right? 9 yards a carry, whatever.
Mm.
And you're gonna mean to tell me it's 33 and this team got no timeouts and you're gonna throw the ball in an out route? Who's in charge? Is this
Yeah,
Kellen
but
Moore's
look at
call
that
or Nick
though.
Sirianni's call?
But did you see that play? I'm gonna show you the play, Jay, because I was thinking that too. But when you look at that play, they knew what was going to happen. That was the issue. They knew that.
You got to catch that football, and he did not do so. We understand that. But if you had run the ball, you're at the very minimum chewing up a chunk of the clock, okay? And the likelihood is that Atlanta, if you had ended up kicking a field goal, all right, Atlanta's in a position where they're going to have the ball with.
They were expecting a run play. That's the thing. That's why that line was all jammed up.
He wasn't gonna get the first down. He was about to. He was literally on an angle to walk into the corner.
Oh yeah,
like it.
He knew it. We all knew it. We all knew it.
Man, bro, when he dropped that, I said, "Yo, bro." Now, and
when we saw that pass in the air, we knew he was going to catch that. Everybody thought he was going to catch that, and 9 times out of 10, he is going to catch that. Like
literally
it's not like Watkins or anything. He's not like Watkins. Like he's going to catch that ball.
The play call the play was executed absolutely perfect minus the drop because, like I said, he was about to walk in. He was about to.
He knew that
in.
too. He knew
like
it.
If you look
and
at
that's
the
why
angle,
he felt
was
bad.
about to walk in at the first down.
Yeah, he felt bad about it, and that's why he said I kind of let the team down. But let's go ahead and we only got a few minutes left, Jay. But let's go ahead and talk about what the standings are right now. So this is the AFC. You got the Bucs leading in the AFC East. You got the Pittsburgh Steelers leading the AFC North. The Texans leading the AFC South. AFC West, we got the Chargers. Like,
wow, look at the AFC North. Who would have think Baltimore and Cincinnati 0-2 at last place tied? Wow.
Yeah. Like that's crazy.
I mean, I wouldn't think that Baltimore and reigning MVP and then Joe Burrow, which is an MVP type quarterback, and both 0-2, definitely not what I expected.
They got a break from the drop. Yeah, they did.
Oh, big time break.
We helped Kirk Cousins' career with that drop.
Kirk Cousins, man, I don't want to hear about Kirk Cousins.
And then and this is my thing too. Did the Eagles lose the game or did the Falcons win that game? I feel like the Eagles lost that game. Like if we gave them the opportunity to get back on the field, we could have gave them the opportunity to not get back on the field.
Yeah, I feel like the same way you do. I feel like they took the game from us. I feel like it was in our hand and they just walked by and snacked it and we didn't.
But they didn't take it. We lost it because the catch was not made. Because the timing was off. Not like the lineman not flinching back.
So many ways they could have won the game by the running the ball, right? They could have ran the ball. Mm-hmm. They just could have did so many things differently. Just so many things could have went differently.
Yeah. So let's look at these standings and then we'll give our 2 cents in on the Saints game, and then we'll get up out of here, Jay. Mm-hmm. Right now, we got the Washington Commanders leading the NFC East. Minnesota leading the NFC North. The Saints, who will be playing this Sunday at 12. The NFC South, and then NFC West. We got the Seahawks. All right, so let's talk about these Saints. We saw what they did to the Cowboys. They kind of have the 49ers. Their offensive coordinator is the same offensive coordinator for the 49ers last year. So
they have that.
How do we stop that? Yeah, how do we stop that? I believe a 5-man front. What I also believe is with that Cowboy game, they were running back by committee. We have a solid running back.
So I think it's going to be harder for them to contain Saquon. I feel like Saquon's going to be on a little vengeance off this drop. He's going to come out this game swinging. Now, I believe this is New Orleans Saints home opener, if I'm not mistaken. Our home opener got ruined. We're going to have to go ruin somebody else's home opener. That's just how I look at it.
And we also have a mobile quarterback as well.
Jalen played the New Orleans Saints a couple years ago. Remember that game? That was when New Orleans was one of the top defenses in the NFL. He was a rookie. He was going into that game, and they were super doubtful of him. And he diced them up that game. I'll never forget that. So, that's years ago. Different teams, different lines, different everything. But I know, Eagle fans remember that game when he played the Saints at the Link. This time
Yeah.
it'll be down in New Orleans.
I'm hoping with AJ Brown that hamstring was just out for this game. I would like to see AJ Brown back
Oh
because
no,
this
I
would be
don't
a
think.
game that we need him.
I think he's gonna be at least 2 because he said it himself out his mouth. Because as soon as he said that, all the reports started. Oh, AJ missed a few weeks because verbally he said a few weeks. So I would say at least he'll be back by like week 4. But we need him desperately
Or
because
not come back till after
or
the bye.
it could be then after the bye they could hold him out completely to make sure he's because it's a hamstring. You don't want to aggravate that thing and make it worse. But how missed was he, Warren? Seriously.
Oh, he was definitely missed. That game would have been won
Dude, he's our
with him
bully,
there.
bro. When he's
Yeah.
on the line, I always look at Smitty as the finesse one who just slithers by you, just sweet moves his way through, and then AJ is just a presence that you have to deal with him. Like you gotta deal with him. If he's on the
Yeah.
field, you gotta deal with him. Even when he's not making catches, they're dealing with him.
And you got to think about this too. And a lot of people are basing this game off of the way they played the Cowboys. I think the recipe to beat the Cowboys is hold CD Lamb. If you can't hold him, if you hold CD Lamb, you got the game. You take away Dak's option. Jay, so we only got a few minutes left, and I think you know what I mean by that.
Yeah.
So
No
before
rush.
we get up out of here, what would you like to tell everybody before we get up out?
Yeah, I just want to tell everybody I appreciate the participation. Me and Warren, we've been consistent now for a couple of weeks now, every Tuesday. Like we said, we're looking for more Eagle fans. We have a lot of things in the works. We're trying to, we're still all new to this. All of this. We were thrusted into this 2 years ago. It was unexpected. We didn't expect to be here, so we're still working through things. But we're basically going to be running a series soon where we interview Eagle fans and just their fandom, why they're Eagle fans, what makes them a special Eagle fans. Because behind the scenes, me and Warren communicate with Eagle fans everywhere, all over the place. Like I said, I'm going to be bringing my friend Roberto on. He's from Mexico. He's trying to bring, he's an Eagle fan from Mexico, been rooting for the Eagles for almost 4 decades, I believe. And, he has this amazing story of how hard it is to get Eagle jerseys in Mexico and how many fans are actually down there. So they have an NFL store and they buy everything up. It's hard for him to get gear and just his fandom. He actually went to the game. It was his first game yesterday. So I know he's a little sad because it wasn't cool, but me and Warren have a bunch of fans that we're trying to bring out in different walks of life and just bring everybody together because we are the Eagles Collective.
Hey, I agree with that. And like I said, like you said, we communicate with a lot of people, a lot of Eagle fans through Messenger on Facebook and just communicating. And like a lot of y'all have really good points of views, and your points of views and your thoughts need to be like, let's talk.
Bring them up here, yeah. Bring them up here.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. Like
I like Curtis's comments, Richard's comment. Y'all gotta come up here, Britt. Y'all gotta come up here one day. Look, listen, I've been making it easier for you. If you guys don't feel comfortable even with the camera, which it took us a while to get comfortable with the camera and everything, you could even come up and just be your voice. As long as you could come up and voice your opinion, we could get up here and have a conversation, man.
Yeah, and we welcome anybody. Just talking birds, talking the upcoming game. I think the Saints game is going to be a good game. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. Let's look at these comments real quick. Nikki Lloyd, division standing. Yeah, there's a lot of good teams are in the same record as us.
Yeah, it's week 2, so we got it. We take it with a grain of salt. But like I said, enough sample size to know a little direction where everybody's steering.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Nikki.
Thank you, Nikki. Appreciate that.
Yeah. But hey, guys, we appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next Tuesday. We're the Eagles Collective. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Go Birds.